Okay, I want to pick up at developing the Python client for the for the PowerTAC competition, and so right now I have the entire competition in Docker containers. So I wrote a Docker compose file that creates the server. Then it creates all of the, or a lot of the competition, so agent UDE, CWI, Maxon, Spot, and TacTacs from the different years. So I took the ones that are available online, and it puts them all in Docker containers and starts the entire competition. I also have an adapter here, which is again a container, and it exposes so it also logs in as a client using the Java code, but then it exposes all the handle messages. So these here, the handle message, capacity transaction, market bootstrap, market position, etc. And it exposes that. And it doesn't do all of them. It just does a couple. Specifically, it does market position, market transaction, order book, and these kinds of messages. So I do receive some messages in my Python. I know that much because I am getting these warnings that I haven't actually implemented my message, which I wrote in the Python environment here. I have these, whenever I receive a message that I haven't implemented, I warn about that it's not implemented. And it just says, it hasn't been implemented. There's two problems with this. A, I don't see which I receive, and I don't see which are implemented. Or which are not implemented. I just see there's one not implemented, but I don't see which one that is. So what I want to do now is I want to check a couple of things. I wrote about this spy behavior, so I rewrote the server in a little way that it shares. Let's see if I can quickly pull this up. So this is the adapter, and so broker proxy service, I think it's called. So whenever I am sending a message, or whenever the server is sending a message to a broker, I'm checking, is there a spyBroker configured, which can be configured with the broker property, with the server properties file. And if that's the case, I'm also sending that message to the broker. And also, I kind of refactored the local send message to something so I can also take an XML message instead of just the object. And whenever the server receives an XML message from one of the brokers, and that broker is not the spyBroker, then it also forwards that message right away back to the spyBroker. So that is, I am unsure where exactly that is called. I have to see, let's see. Could be this one. On message, yeah. So whenever I receive a message, I check, or I get the broker. I also refactored a little bit here. I get the broker from that message, and if that broker is not the spyBroker, so if I get the broker from the message, if the spyBroker is not null, and if they're not equal, that means it's a message. I know from which broker it is, and it's not from mine or from the spy, and I have a spy configured. Then I send that message back to the spyBroker. And so I pretty much I take the raw XML, I don't even parse it, and I just fire it back to me. That basically means that my broker, my Java broker, has to handle also all kinds of messages that usually are sent to the server. And for that, I wrote this extra spy messages, which is a service just like the context manager and the market manager. And that one is supposed to handle the kinds of messages that usually are not received by the brokers. Because I also want to let my Python environment know what the other brokers have said. And that is very intuitive because my whole idea is called, learning through observation. So I need to observe both what the server sends to everyone. So I basically need to have this all-seeing kind of agent that is that knows everything. It's in the reinforcement world that would be called a fully observable environment. And that is actually not completely true, because a fully observable environment, I would also be able to see the internal state of my competitors, and I do not see that. But I can now see all the messages that are sent to the server and from the server. So what I want to do now is, I wrote the Java side of it. I want to check if all the messages that I expect to arrive, and especially I want to make sure that I get the orders that are sent to the server from the brokers. And I want to see if I receive also the, I don't know what the message types are called, but the ones that are sent to my competitors, because it's their private knowledge, the server sends that to them. I want to see if I also receive that, or if my broker also receives these in Python. So that's what I'm going to have to find out now. So the first thing I want to do is kind of print out what message I am receiving and what message I am not receiving. So for this, I got to look in the Python environment, and I think all of them right now have this, handle or warn about gRPC not implemented. I have not actually added the extra spy handler, so I would need to do this, which is I wrote this generate Python stubs, and it takes a path, and the path has also changed, so I kind of need to check this. No. Go PowerTAC Python broker. And so the path actually now is called GRPC adapter. So that would be GRPC adapter. And then I think it's called source. So it's the adapter source main proto, because there is a sub-project. It's modularized now in the Maven environment. So again here, gRPC adapter, source main proto, gRPC messages, and I want to put that out into communication. So that's all good and well now. So let's execute that once. That would be generate Python stubs. And I believe now I will have, yep, they have changed. That is very good. I also have these PYI files, which are very helpful because now my IDE actually understands these, I think they're called meta classes. So gRPC generates these very ugly classes. And so now I have these PYI files, which are a lot more helpful to read. I'm trying to figure. I remember it's written by Dropbox, but I don't remember where MyPy protopath. This one here, mypy.out. This one sets, if you install this MyPy protobuf, I think it's called, then you also get these PYI files and they describe your entities. So now I can work with the entities as if they are my core entity, and I don't have to do this whole mapping, because the last 2 weeks I wrote a bunch of mapping between our core entities in the server and the gRPC messages, because they are they need to be mapped. So that took forever. So now I should be able to also add PowerTAC GRPC add context manager, market portfolio manager, connection service. So I have portfolio here, I have market manager here, I have context, and I have submit adapter service. What is the submit adapter? Oh, that's the just came from Java. That's the one where I can actually send messages to the server. I'm not doing that yet. But there is still the question, where is my secret I have this spy or extra spy message, and so I want to see where is game servers. Here. Extra spy message manager service handle. So this one should be added, but it's not. It's not here. PowerTAC GRPC add extra spy is not existing. So that's a little weird. Let's see what happened. We have the messages. GRPC PV2. Let's get the structure here as well. So we have the server message stream, servicer control event. Oh, that's not it. So should be here. Wait a second. PowerTAC GRPC. That one really is this one, which is the exact same. So I have the context manager, I have the market manager, I have the portfolio manager, I have the connection service, submit adapter, but not my spy one. The question is why? Because I did just compile this. I did just run generate Python stubs. GRPC adapter. GRPC messages. It should still be called the same, right? I didn't check that specifically. So that would be adapter source main resource. No, proto GRPC messages. So it's still called that. And it still has connection service, extra spy. It's all there. What just happened? That was weird. I mean, I could theoretically delete all of those. GRPC messages, PB. And then regenerate. Actually, let me do this in the terminal here. Aha, so it's not updating the GRPC services. That is curious. Let's try something here. Let's delete this plugin and then Python delete this as well. And now let's run it. Let's see what happens. Okay, nothing. Did I break my gRPC build environment, or what happened? It's kind of odd. Or maybe I have to... It could very much be it that I just... Oh, it's not that, okay. gRPC IO. So I believe that I didn't actually build the services. Builds the entities. So that gRPC Python out. I'm basically just copying some of the URLs here, because that was obviously taken from the tutorial. And I want the Python out to be communication. gRPC Python out. Maybe I can remove this. Or maybe I was just missing here. I mean, I could also try this. gRPC Python out equals communication. I mean, that could be worth a shot. Before I run this twice with different tools, let's try this. Plugin failed with status code 1. Program not found or is not executable. Mistype it. No, I did not. So let's try this now. Happens. Communication. Because I did just do this, which I don't want here. See, is there anything crashing now? This is my communication. GRPC messages PB2 GRPC, and in here I will hopefully now find my submit connection service extra spy message. Here we go. So that was just missing. I will have to figure out why I have to call this with two different tools. That's not really pretty in my eyes. So this one builds the gRPC service links, and this one just builds the protobuf. The protobuf entities. But for now, I'm going to leave this be and add a extra spy message servicer to server. That's quite the long message, but okay. Extra spy message manager service. I still need to create this. And I can create this somewhere down here. And I obviously need to inherit something here. That would be the extra spy service servicer. My goodness, that's a mouthful. Def handle PB order. That would be the order that I get from the, or that I get forwarded, that a broker actually sent to the server. Now I get it. So let's do this. Hold on. Okay, so received a, okay, pause this because there was a dog barking, a loud motorcycle, and an alarm. That doesn't really do well for the audio. So that should help. Now this way I can check, did I get the messages that another broker sent? And I could run this once, I guess. Alright, there's this weird bug. Oh, it's not a bug because I put the things in a subfolder. You know, I push them into communication. gRPC messages, this one imports then, and that doesn't work. And I did have a correction script, but for some reason that disappeared. So let me see if I have that still in my GitHub repo somewhere. And I know I should be able to do this with a console, but I'm not really capable of doing that yet. Or maybe I have a history. Let's try this. Terminal. No, okay. git log generate Python stubs. Screw it all. Fantastic. That's not very helpful. I just pushed everything and called it screw it all. And I don't believe there's a history, no. I'm looking for an older version of some shell script that generated this so that I have this, but I can also just do a sed replace. I think it was a sed, yeah, something like this. Let's try it. I believe it would be an import and then something. Not actually, let's do this import GRPC messages pb2 and let's replace that with import communication .grpc messages pb2. And I can mark this as global, but I'm not actually, I'm just doing this once, so it doesn't really matter. I could also do this. And then I'm going to perform this on communication grpc messages pb2 underscore grpc. And voila. So this command also has to go in here. Fixing dependency. And I know that's not perfect, because you should maybe parse the language, blah blah blah, but since it's just the one thing that is, you know, that is broken, that works wonderfully now. So now the Python agent, which is actually a server, in the gRPC logic, I configured my Python code to be the server. And the reason is that I can start this one up, and I didn't have to rewrite or change the adapter's sample broker code in any way. So I could, normally what the sample broker does is it connects to the server and starts the communication. But I want my Python agent to be online first, of course. So let's say I forgot to start my Python agent, or my Python broker part. Then I had no way to tell the Java adapter to wait for this Python thing first before connecting to or I did have a way, but it was kind of hacky, to connect to the server only once my Python is online. So now I'm just doing it like this. Which is actually not better because it's still going to crash, I think. Not actually sure, let me see. Oh no, never mind. So yeah, this is what happens. My adapter doesn't connect to the server until my Python code is running. So if I start this Docker Compose up now, you know, all the agents, they start up and they're all connecting to the server. But mine is not. And it keeps saying, you know, here, gRPC connection refused, and it waits. So now the server has all of them but mine. Mine is missing. It has 6 logins that it's expecting, and 4 of them now with agent UDE just popping in. They're all there, so they're all synchronized now. But mine is missing. So the moment I start my Python, and that should be agent compete. Ta-da! And it's connecting, and it's starting the competition. And I think I should see that in my memory footprint, because it did jump up to about 75%. So it jumps up about 25%. Takes a fair bit of CPU too. The whole letting everything run on my computer takes about 50% of my CPU with all other competitors and the server. I have an i7 4 core, so you know it would be quite a little bit taxing on a laptop CPU, I can imagine. Although to be fair, I'm also recording 4K screen. That's another 10%. But yeah, it still works, all good and well. I'm getting the gRPC method not implemented, but I'm not receiving anything, you know, I got the hacky kind of special messages. So let's first see which messages I am getting, maybe. That would be nice to know. So, you know, I mean, every gRPC method not implemented means there's something that I'm receiving, but I don't know what. gRPC communication. And this is always triggered here in the warn about not implemented. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this on my debugger. I'm going to start my agent using the debugger. I think that should work. For some reason oh yeah, I deleted all the IntelliJ configurations from my projects once because I had a problem with IntelliJs. Or PyCharm, which is the same, basically. If I call main, then I'm calling script call. And script call is command collection sources CLI. I believe that should work, but we will see. Let me just break this here, and then see if I jump into the compete. Why can I not? Here we go. So I do jump into the compete. That's fantastic. Calling directly, all good. So this should listen. Is it also configuring the logging or not? Because I don't feel like it is. No, for some reason it's not. So maybe I have to do this here again. Oops. Log target, log level. Oh, let's do file and debug. I I think I'm debugging, so why not? File and debug. Let's do this. See what happens now. Oh. A crash. Fantastic. Configure logging. Oh, that's just a helper. Make sure target folder exists if file in log target. Oh, it's a... I think it's an array. Let's try this. And logging works, even though I started it not through the CLI, but manually. It is listening, and we can place breakpoints. Fantastic. So now I can start this all up again, and I should, the moment I receive a message, it's letting all the agents connect. And right now I only receive wholesale messages. That's the only ones that I'm actually forwarding, so it's going to take a little while until all the brokers are connected, etc., etc. So now it's going, and here we go. Handle PB competition. Yeah, of course, that's the first one I receive. Let's see if I get another one. Balance report. Okay. And I'm getting balance reports, so I believe I'm really just getting the balance reports. Yeah. Okay. So the balance reports I would also get normally. I'm not getting any wholesale order book. Oh yeah, because I'm storing them. So I will probably receive those. Let me see. Yeah, I do receive the order books, but I'm just storing them. So market transaction. Not getting those. Clear trade I am getting. Yeah. Let's see, what else do I get? Probably also getting the weather. Oh no, I didn't map the weather yet. So these ones I'm not getting. Customer bootstrap, tariff spec, tariff status. I didn't implement all of those. I am not getting the spy messages though. So, and I believe that's actually a bug, or if I look into okay, so there's this handle order message is not actually existing normally in the client, and I added this, but I think I still have to add some more to make it properly working. So let's see. So if I tail in the broker trace, I am getting errors here. So let's see. What are the errors looking like? Game manager service cannot call handle message. Method not found. Game service GRPC in 352. Game service. So I'm handling here the messages that I also want to forward to Python. And I'm getting errors here, so let's see why. Received message. Tariff specs, that's all good. So it's logging all the XML here, which is kind of tedious to go through. But it is crashing. Game manager service. Cannot call handle message. To status runtime get unchecked. Blocking unary call. Game service gRPC. Handle PB time slot complete. I believe it's because I didn't implement that on the Python side, so that tells actually Java there's a bug here. Game service. Did I implement this one yet? I don't think I did. So let's also PowerTAC add game service. Game service servicer. Let's maybe put that here. And then it needs to handle the sympause. And it needs to handle the time slot complete. And it needs to handle sim resume, and finally the time slot update. So I am going to right now just warn about all of them. And return PowerTAC empty, because that's just the, I always return a void sort of, you know, like, yeah, I took care of it so that Python or that Java doesn't complain. And I believe if we now quickly restart this, I don't know if this actually works. I'm curious. Yep, it works, apparently. Java doesn't complain. So what I did was I restarted my Python code live, and Java's fine with that. That's kind of cool, because that means I can update my code during a running competition and I don't have to restart the entire competition. So I can just let the competition run in the background and meanwhile change code. I am getting a lot more gRPC messages not implemented now, I would say, because I'm getting the game ones, which are time slot complete and time slot update. So I should get about 3. Yeah, I get 3 now. So that's good. I'm still not handling anything though. And I want to have written here, what am I not handling? And I could do it with this traceback print stack, but that is actually, I'm going to just put a breaker here. So now I get this, and let's evaluate. Traceback, stack summary. So I want to get one message or one method or function ahead of the stack. So I want to get up by 1 and then print that so that I have the, handle PB sim resume or whatever. But I have no idea how the object here works, so I'm gonna have to Google this. Python traceback. I actually have this very nice tool, Zeal. I should use this. Traceback. Standard interface to extract, format, and print stack traces. I don't want to print the whole thing though. I want to get a specific line. List of pre-processed. Okay, so extract TV, traceback. Let's try this. What do I have to pass it? Do I have to pass it something? TB. Okay. Traceback. How do I get a traceback? Okay, so let's try. Actually, here I think we can set a limit. Let's try this and see, maybe I just get 2 messages and then I can in handle PB time slot update. So that's kind of nice. File. Warn about GRPC not in handle PB. So perfect. Now I get told. What happens if I set this to 1 though? Probably then I just get that print stack trace. Or it makes no difference. Interesting. Oh no, never mind. I'm not getting my methods anymore. So 2 is the right number here. So now I'm getting told which methods or which messages I am receiving. Time slot update, balance report, time slot complete, and I can start implementing the handling methods. So that's good. But I am still not happy that I'm not receiving the spy messages. And I believe that has something to do with the way that I built my server. The way I built my server is here in the server. So this is the PowerTAC container runtime project. I have a POM that relies on the PowerTAC server, on the version, and maybe I should do this. Because I want to use the local one. I want to use my local server build, which I should have in my local Maven repo. So if I go into M2, repository, org, PowerTAC, and then server, there is the 151 snapshot, and I can also build that locally, and then that will be my this one, which I forked. So this is, it's a fork of the original PowerTAC server, and I have a branch all-seeing hijack. So if I install skip tests, I'm not sure if this actually works this way. I think it does though. So this also builds the visualizer, which I don't really need, but what do you do? So my hope is, if I kill all the entire competition here, and I build this again, it's gonna rebuild the server. Oh no, right, I gotta go in the server ones and package this. And now if I build, it's gonna rebuild the server. And if I start this up now, everything should start firing up again. And now the big question is, will I receive more messages? Of course, I have to wait for all the agents to log into the server again, so that's why I actually don't like restarting the whole thing. And I'm so happy that I can kind of live restart my Python. So I get the whole bootstrap, time slot, balance. Nope, still not getting anything. I did see an exception there. I think I'm going to rewrite the broker message receiver here, so not print the entire XML, because that's kind of tedious. Broker message receiver is that one's in the core. I would have to change the core. Is that set to debug or something? Oh, it's info. Should be debug, really. Because I don't need to get the XML every time. That's a little too much. Broker message receiver. Info. So it's a debug message to say I got a message, but it's an info message to actually print out the message. I think that's a little over the top. So Maven install. tests because they take forever. It's all installed under 151 in the local repo. That's fantastic. And then I'm going to the adapter. I have to build the adapter. So this is also something interesting. So I do a Maven package here. Actually, I don't need to do this. I can just do build, because I wrote a script for this. So it packages it, takes the code from locally and creates an image, a Docker image. So now the server not server, the container runtime, yeah. I was wondering why the bottom left moved, but I think it was just the tmux that also automatically scrolls back down. Do I need to rebuild anything? No. But still, I'm not receiving the messages I would expect to be receiving. So is it registering all the messages? Actually, this is kind of interesting. No, damn it, it's also still printing all the XML. Oh, that's too much. Why is it printing all the XML? So I'm depending in the adapter on the broker core, which is depending on the PowerTAC version, and that is 151 snapshot here. But I think I am pulling here. I'm also pulling from the sonotype, which for snapshots it's enabled. So I will plugins. Now what I can do, this should be interesting, is I can delete the broker core and also the server main. So now if I package now, it's going to break, I think. Should break, yep, because it can't resolve the package. So now if I go into PowerTAC core and I install And now I go back into the adapter and I do a Maven package. It shouldn't break. And it doesn't. So it's taking my code now. Very good. Building a new Docker container or Docker image. And let's also go into the PowerTAC container and build. Why do I have a build here? Oh no, never mind. Build all of those. Of course, I have to package this first. Ah, here we see. It is downloading snapshot PowerTAC server main. That is not good. We don't want that. I don't want this. I gotta stop talking in we. POM. I'm open already here. PowerTAC server is the parent. Let's kill both of those. Now it should break. Maven package. Yep, breaks. Server jar not existing. Can't resolve. Okay. Maven install means these. Actually, I should just do this. It's installing everything in the local repo. Takes a while again now because of the visualizer. Building all the assets. These times where the Java backend server build is super slow because the front-end assets have to be built. And there used to be this claim that web development is so nice and fast and you can see your changes right away, but not if you do a prod build. Container runtime server. Now if I package, it should work. It's not downloading anything. Fantastic. Now if I built the container runtime, all good. And if I start it all up, I do get errors here. I should look at them. Can't get the... so these are loggings mostly. I'm probably not... I haven't configured the logging properly. Server exited. No such method. Competition get fixed time slot. Oh, that's new. Is that my fault? Because I never touched that. Competition control service. Let's start this up again, see what happens. No such method error. Thread 2. Exited with code 0. That's not good. Okay, I will have to look at those logs. While seeing Jack. Actually, I'm gonna make a pull request. No, but I don't want to make it to the PowerTAC server. I want to make it to my own master. So let's see the diffs. Oh, scrolling is super slow. So for some reason when I click a link, it doesn't matter. Anyways. So I add the spyBroker and I let it hijack, and then in the local send message I refactored a little, created a method from this block of code so that I can call it from another service. Then in the server message receiver again, I added the spyBroker. There's just some spaces here, new lines, and then here again I have to remove this. That's kind of annoying when you do pull requests and then for some reason my IDE's style guide is a little differently set up, and so it constantly complains about syntactically perfectly equal code. But okay. So again, I'm hijacking the communication, sending that message to the method that I extracted earlier up top. What is all of this? Validate broker prefix. That is really just style differences, I think, again. Looks like it. And then here, that's a test. That's a test. And a test config. So it didn't really change anything. But I am getting competition control server setup. So I'm just going to do this once, and then start up the server, see what happens. Bootstrap data source not given. So I'm copying the bootstrap data over, and I have bootstrap data here. It's actually, it's not that large, 500 kilobytes. But I think I am relying on an environment variable here. Yeah, so I'm not passing brokers. So let's steal some of the ideas from here. Okay, let's do this. I'm taking this code and I'm putting it in a similar fashion here, and I'm doing if brokers, oops, equals 0, then brokers equals Slytherin v1. So if I didn't pass an environment variable brokers, which I do in my compose file, then I just select, just wait for mine and ignore all the others. Building, running, unknown operand 0. I suck at bash. If z bash if minus z. True if string is null. Perfect. Build. Did I break something here? Oh, I removed a hashtag. So now it should work, and it does. And it crashes. The question is why. But if it crashes there, it should also crash if I run this in IntelliJ. PowerTAC server. Definitely hungry. So while I run those tests, I do need to see how it starts it, which is I need the bootstrap data and it needs the config. Otherwise it's not going to do anything. As far as I remember. So we'll have to give it bootstrap, boot data. And that's bootstrap.xml and config server.properties. If I remember correctly. Bootstrap minus data. Actually, let me remove this because I'm launching it in boot. What's crashing? Cannot find symbol method dump. Configurable value dump. Can't find it. Why not? Because it doesn't exist. Why not? Why doesn't it exist? Makes no sense. Common source main Java PowerTAC common configurable value is in common config. Okay. Git log configurable value. Prepare unsubmodule common. Okay. Then the question is, what's broken? Mesobuyer. So let's see the history of this one. Where's the dump value coming from, and where is my frickin' mouse? So I need to pull the master and then merge it into git status. Power type. I think I added a getter in the power type and the broker message receiver. That's the hack. So git commit adding hijacking for all seeing broker. So can be fast forwarded. Okay, git branch, git checkout, broker adapter, git merge master. broker runner, auto merging broker conflict in broker runner. In broker runner, okay. Broker runner. IPC adapter name. That is some old code though. Guess it wasn't merged yet. Merge master into broker adapter. Okay. And now if I do a Maven install, building, and the dump is okay. Fantastic. So now I can start my PowerTAC server. And see nothing, because it's all in the log files. What is this? Why is it creating a minus config file? Hello. Let's just do log and then tail star.trace. That is a lot simpler. Okay, so if I don't give it the config, then it complains. Where is the server properties? I don't actually have that anywhere, do I? No, not as far as I know. So let's go into the container and steal the server's broker, the server's properties. See what happens now. Aha. Well, that's very fast. Why is it ticking so fast? Or is it it's because it's generating the bootstrap. Surprisingly easy on the CPU though, for ticking so quickly. So if I set it to sim, then what happens? Crash because no boot data. So if I give it boot data bootstrap.xml and I put that again steal that from the runtime as well. Bootstrap data. And now I run it. Finished because... why? Game ID not given. Who the fuck cares about the game ID? Ah, double minus. Game ID not given. Is that so bad? I'm not even getting an error here. That's kind of the confusing part. Okay, so if I go into server distribution and look at the POM, it's going to be 151, so that's all good. May even type init. Tail minus f in log anything.trace, and let's init this. All good. So here works. Let's see if it's pulling Sona. So that otherwise again is pulling from the Sona type. These Sona types are really irritating because if they always overwrite if I have something locally, that's kind of annoying. I wonder how that is changeable. Okay, so this is not crashing. If I run it locally, it's not crashing. If I run it in the Docker container, it is crashing with a rather unclear message. But I have the suspicion that it has something to do with the fact that I built a jar specifically for the server. So it doesn't have a problem with the compose, I think. Because if I look here, let's not open two Vims at the same time. The server POM builds a jar, yeah. And then this build makes an image, and this runs it. And instead of this, let's do this. So I'm hooking it directly into my host's network, and I don't actually forward any ports. Call it PowerTAC, give it the right IDs, PowerTAC server, remove PowerTAC. So if I build this, and I run it, look at the init, still all good. It tells it to do a simulation, takes the config, waits for mine, and it crashes. No such method. Get fixed time slot. Competition control service. .385. Set log suffix. I suspect it has something to do with my jar. So in the target directory here, I forgot how to extract a jar. JarXF, okay, JarXF server snapshot, that's the whole thing. And so now if I look here, it should have PowerTAC AOP, server, so I think it's missing the common. No, it's here. A lot of comments. Common 151. Get fixed time slot count in the competition. Competition. Okay, so that's not here. It is in the core. The core is somewhere here. So in the core, there's the competition. Get fixed time slot count. Returns an integer. It claims that doesn't exist. In the competition control service, which has... Does it even use a competition? It just has a bunch of strings. Competition. Get fixed time slot count, minimum time slot count. Fixed time. Three 1 385. So this competition, is it even importing competition? Yeah, it is. Okay. Competition. Oh, that is still weird. PowerTAC server, PowerTAC main. What happens if I add the common? I mean, can't hurt, right? Or the core. Common. Let's make it depend on common. PowerTAC common, it's downloading. What's going on here? 151 snapshot missing. Did I not package that? PowerTAC core, PowerTAC. Where's the common? Why is it not installing the common? That's kind of weird. So if I install here, now it's installing it. That's curious. Why is it looking in sonar type again? I don't understand that. Sonar type. I don't have it anywhere here in the build and the POM. So why is it looking for that? Could not find artifact. PowerTAC common jar. Common 151 jar. Ah, because it is not called this, it is just called common. Still the same arrow? No? Okay, so that might just have cut it. Docker kill PowerTAC. Compose build. And compose up. And the server doesn't crash. Fantastic. All good. The problem remains. Why am I not getting the messages I expect to be getting? Well, on the bright side, I am not logging. Not logging all the XML anymore, so that worked. Market manager service, no power required. Question is actually, why is it still receiving that? Required. Submit order. Why is it calling submit order? Activate. So this is clearly actually I will open this in IntelliJam one more time. So there's still some code in my adapter that actually does active trading, which I don't want. I don't want it to do any order submission and whatnot. Oh, I had to sneeze. So we are handling some of the messages, but not all of them. I just cleared the activate, and I think I can also now remove the submit order, and then I can also remove the compute limit price. Because that's both still code from the sample broker, which I don't actually need. Okay. Since I was doing that, I might as well check if the other ones are containing stuff like that. Portfolio. Is it actually usage? Local produce. So it is initially creating tariffs. That's kind of nice. So I think I'll leave this. My alternative idea was that I would just, in Python, tell it to imitate the best competitors' tariffs. But I'm not going to do that for now. So this one basically just gives my agent some free tariffs that I don't have to create by myself. So that's nice. Tariff transaction. Status spec. Actually, why does nothing happen on the... container runtime? It's 1521. But there's nothing happening here. That's kind of odd. Okay, so I am going to this is the GRPC adapter. get this a little clearer, and then the broker proxy. Log info, sending forwarding message to spy. And I'm gonna hate these messages once it works, but I want to figure out if it works. But it should work. Maybe I didn't set up the spyBroker or something properly. So that would be in the in the server properties, broker proxy service, spyBroker. I would assume no configurable property name, balancing cost max, creating factored customer. So I would assume it's logging something if there's either a wrong config property set, or if it's not receiving that. PowerTAC sim file truncated. Okay, I think first of all I'm gonna fix this whole logging issue. That should be in the agents template. Docker file, log/client name. So that is spot complaining, agent UDE complaining. And I think then here I'm just doing a mistake because I need server. Let's look at the server Docker file again. ONS PowerTAC log. The link name is PowerTAC log. Okay, so this one seems to work. But my hypothesis is that because I'm in the work directory, this should probably be better. Compose build. Nope, still lagging, bugging like hell. So I'm gonna find this Docker PS. This one's called PowerTAC container runtime maxon. What are you talking about? PowerTAC container runtime maxon. Oh, that's the image. What's the _1? PowerTAC, and then there should be can't cd to log. Why not? Okay, so the log folder creation with the client name for some reason fails. Although it is surprising why it So now I have no logs whatsoever, right? So no one can log properly. That's not good. Why can't it create a folder? Because I'm creating the folder. Yeah, okay, this is kind of dumb. So I'm creating a folder under /log/client name, or like whatever the name of the broker is. But then I am not. Then afterwards in the compose image, I am setting that up to be linked to an image or to a drive, I don't know how you call it. And so that leads the /log directory to actually be linked to the one on my file system here, not the one in the container. And so there is no /log/maxon or whatever. So this actually has to occur in the init. This has to occur here. And it needs to know what its name is, which means I have to be in the compose. Readme, I gotta go back here. And so it needs to know its name. So that would be environment under everyone build. Oops. Why has it depends on twice? That's not correct. Okay, so depends. I can do here this and then environment brokers. No. Client name. Okay, why is this not appropriate here? Why doesn't it see it as a string? A space was missing. Alright, so that would be max on, and then also spot. Okay. To Y, and that would be this spot. Oh, and then that was it. No, tactex. Environment tactex. So now I have a client name, environment variable, and now I should be able to do the following, which is for all the make dir minus p. Hold on, I need one more Docker file in the template. Where is it? Here. Let's yank this. And just copy this. Client name should be set on all of them. Now I just need to copy the init file a couple of times. So edited it in the agent UDE, so let's do you know, sometimes GUI tools are just the best. Because now I can do template, copy this, put it on the desktop, init.sh, get rid of all of them, desktop, copy this again, and put it in the template. If I have to do this one more time, I'm gonna write a script for this. But okay, so now what happens if I build things. Are they gonna crash or are they gonna work? Up. Crash like hell. Okay. Why? So I'm copying that over, and then why is it in it? Why is it the wrong in it now? Oh, this blows my mind. Didn't I just fix this? I copied the wrong in it. Bloody hell. Maybe GUI tools aren't the best after all, huh? Or I was just too hungry to think straight. And I feel like there's probably a better way to do this with Ranger, but I don't know right now. So now if we build and start it all up, you can still not log. And the question is, again, as always, why? Because there is all the folders and PowerTAC. I'm going to look at locate. Append a log file for logger config root. Complains that it can't log, but it logged. That is kind of weird. So I'm definitely doing it wrong here. Still. that being said, server, build, should just build the server again, and up the whole thing. Adapter 1 is still complaining because the adapter still uses adapter a different init. Docker file of the adapter, maybe here. But also I'm actually not using this. It's always hard to keep track of me if I always properly exit between Ranger and command line. I'm pretty sure I have a pretty deep kind of stepping into Ranger and then bash and Ranger. So PowerTAC container, the GRPC adapter, the Docker file. Here I need to delete this. Oops. And then I need to shell build this. Okay. Now if I go back here, build it one more time just in case, but it's all good. There shouldn't be any more errors. Yes, no more errors. Fantastic. Very pretty. But still I'm not getting the messages that I'm expecting. CWI, Slytherin, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one's missing? And why is one missing? Ah. because that is wrong. I need to be in the adapter, and the adapter is somewhere here maybe. Make clear minus p log adapter, and then ln minus s log adapter PowerTAC log, or just log. So if we build this now, and we jump over here, and we don't need to build, we just say up, 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 up. Then we have also the adapter log. And we get a bunch of errors, handle message, PowerTAC broker. I think this is the moment where I'm gonna have lunch. Although I am curious. Failed to introspect cache position, invocation target exception 0. Oh, because I'm not handling the time slots anymore. I deleted too much code that I shouldn't have deleted. More specifically, I would assume in the market manager, where I deleted a fair bit amount of code. Submit order, compute limit. Time slot repo. Maybe not here. Wait, which messages am I receiving that I'm crashing on? Start this up one more time and let's see what's crashing. Ay, that's a lot. Can't even handle. Cannot call handle message null pointer exception. Time slot repo get time for index. So somewhere I definitely deleted too much code. And I would say context is probably, no, not floating, split. Oh, I don't want it to be floating. Put it back. Damn it. Here we go. Game manager, that one I wrote. Market manager, does it handle a time slot? No. Portfolio manager, no. So why? Order book get time slot. Order book mapper implementation. Oh, okay, so I'm receiving the order book. Order book mapper implementation 44. Get the order book. I want to make an order book mapper. Time slot mapper. Time for index. Yeah, somewhere I have to make sure that the Java environment keeps some of those so it's doing a lot of looking up when I'm getting time slots. Well, I'm gonna get some lunch now. It's a little late already. Okay, so something I found is that for some reason you need to be initializable so that you can be a message handler in the broker contacts. And so that means that my GRPC adapter, my extra spy, needs to be initializable, but also my I think I had another one, game manager. Yeah, so they both need to be initializable, but then register message handler. No longer needed. I didn't comment this one out, so that's okay. But if I jump here, beans of type domain repo, I recycle all the domain repositories, set up the adapter to resolve incoming messages correctly. And then just initializers for service and initializable services. I initialize it and then I register the message handlers. And then that performs, if it has a handled message, it registers it. So that means mine should be, it's a service, it's initializable, and it has a handle message. And the game manager is also initializable, a service, and can handle messages. So they should be registered. And they are in the fact that I know I'm getting a time slot update and time slot complete, so that works. I am not getting, however, my extra spy messages. And so that means that the server, for some reason, is not sending those extra spy messages. Check my memory for a second. I'm also missing time slots objects. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Question is, did I change some of the broker core? Because as far as I know, I did not. But could be. I merged master. I went through this earlier. Copy revision number? No. I mean, really, I just want to compare, right? Maven release. Plugin. Let's see. GRPC adapter stuff. Nope. I mean, the peculiar part really are the arrows here. I think I'm gonna open this in Tmux because then I can see the whole arrow a little more. The adapter. Okay, I can close this as well. tail log trace. Up. Start this up. Forgot to follow the file, so I'm gonna have to kill this again. For some reason, TAC is starting session 8. Everyone else is starting session 1. So Maxon is definitely a little chatty in the normal logs. So I have conversion errors in the time slot update. Currently I'm still converting that with the old GRPC converter time slot update. Still using the basic time slot mapper. Time slot update. I don't have a time slot update mapper, so that's the reason. Time slot update mapper. This is going to be an interface, and because it might be very similar to this, I'm first of all just going to steal this. Oops. Okay. It's going to want a posted time, first enabled, last enabled. So that's an instant, and then map to int. Timeslot update, PB timeslot update builder. Do I need the timeslot repo? I don't think I do. And so timeslot update mapper instant map in build. So if I come, actually I'm going to build this right away. Should build just fine. I don't feel like I've done any mistake. Nope. New Docker container is there, and so I can just start the containers back up, and I shouldn't have the gRPC type converter errors anymore. Okay, so I am getting the same errors. Now that's obviously an interesting revelation, because that in the end means that something in my build pipeline doesn't work the way I would expect it to. PowerTAC GRPC adapter latest. Depends on server, is network mode host. Volumes are the same. Timeslot update. Posted time is an instant, so that works. Well, I guess it is kind of weird that it's an input string. Number format exception. time slot update. I do have some sample time slot update XML. Post time is millis. Okay, so I'm mostly logging, no power required in time slot. So that also I had changed. Python agent, GRPC adapter, market manager. That should actually not be posted. Oh, did I deleted something in the file here that obviously is not supposed to be. So the build should compile and then create copy failed. No such file or directory. Even package, of course. No, I really couldn't explain why it would still log these weird things. Okay, so this is interesting. It registers game service, market service, portfolio, contexts, PowerTAC broker. Extra spy is also registered, so they're all registered. That's nice. Well, the only question is, better. Time slot update, activate. Paused, format exception. This time in sim resume. I'm using the basic converter here again. I have no mapper. Although it is kind of interesting who paused. Who can pause the server other than me? Here I'm getting the 3 messages I was getting before, but not the... Also some others, of course. Alrighty, so last time I stopped because I had the problem that my broker wasn't actually receiving the spied upon messages. So I have this this concept where I want to send all the messages that the server receives to my spyBroker, but these never arrived. Now the reason why this didn't work, and I wasn't actually aware of this, we have this server properties file here, and on the client they work in a way that you set something, you know, this is the root package under org.PowerTAC, and then the package, a small capital or small letter version of the class, and then the property, and that was set. And what I forgot was that actually doesn't happen automatically, but you have to kind of define something as being configurable. Now, what I also didn't know, and I found this out through a very tedious form of debugging that I just did the last 2 hours, was that the server actually doesn't have some automated way of letting beans be configured. So what happens when to have your bean configured is you need to call sps.configureMe and call it with the object that you want to have configured. And then that uses reflection based on your properties file. But we also didn't have initialize or an initializable interface in the server environment. So I decided I'd add a configurable, which really just speaks for itself. And a configurable has a configure method, and then when you call that thing is going to configure itself. I think it would be probably even cooler if it didn't even have to implement anything, because it could just be a configurable, and then the configurable values will be configured. So theoretically I could make that an extend. But for now this is going to work. So now my messages actually do get sent to the spyBroker, which would be mine. I also had to fix a bug, because here, if my spyBroker is not yet connected to the server, that would, without this find by username, without checking, do we actually have that broker? That was always a null pointer exception, because it was trying to send a message to a broker that didn't connect yet. Because it assumes there's a spyBroker, but if the spyBroker connects second after another broker, then that one didn't work. So I did this to kind of make sure that, I actually get the messages, or that there's actually someone there that can receive the messages. So now I can go back to what I was actually doing, which is, first of all, I'm gonna compose, build all of this. I think I have to package all of this first. Let me actually do this, and then so this is going to put my server implementation back into my local repository now, and then I can build a Docker image with that locally to use it in the compose. And so let's build this. Oh, never mind. I have to maven package. Right, I forgot about this. And now I can build the server. It feels like I just used the cached version. TAC spot. Maxon ADE. Why is it using the cache? This should fail. Yeah. Now it used the the current image 7 seconds ago, runtime server. Perfect. Actually, let me remove some old images here, and now I can compose. If I start up the Docker Compose should also include the adapter, right? The adapter didn't have to be changed. That's still just forwarding all the messages. So now I really just could kind of use a sexy version to tail all the traces with kind of a prefix from where this trace is coming from. That'd be kind of neat. But I think for now I'll just be fine with the adapter, because that's really all I need right now. Am I PowerTAC container runtime log? Oh, adapter and then tail. Let's tail this. My Python is still running in the background. That can pretty much be left running. Adapter exited with 0 class log4j. Oh, right. That was this weird error that I had earlier too, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. But I fixed it here, so the question is, what's different here? I think I need to build a new Maven package. I need to build a new version of my adapter. And I realized that vim build. Don't I have a build? Although actually they don't use that much time, so I'll just do this. Building a new container, and now it shouldn't crash. It's sad when you fix something but you already forgot how you fixed it a day later. Now, I think TAC is going to take a while. It's usually backing off for a couple of seconds, or maybe it's just initially slow to log in. Maybe it has like a 10-second wait period. Or Maxon. Actually, before I keep going, let me check my RAM. That's fine. I might also be able to close some of these rather CPU or memory heavy Java IDE things. So this is not actually receiving the spied upon messages as I had it earlier. So it doesn't work yet in the container, but it does work if I run it normally. So that just sounds like the containers version is not actually my up-to-date server code. And so how do I fix that? Alternatively, it could also be that the configuration doesn't work out properly. So let's see, PowerTAC, container runtime, server, the properties. I do have them set, broker proxy service and spyBroker. And if I git status, it's all clean here. Now if I copy from the PowerTAC server, server main, server properties to server, is there any difference? No, it's the exact same file. So configuration is all good. I think I'm gonna remove, how do I bulk remove images? Docker bulk remove image. Because I feel like I have way too many images here. PowerTAC container runtime server. So this is the name I'm gonna want to kick. And maybe the dangling ones then get removed as well. That's actually not such a good idea, because I have some that I don't want to be deleted. Docker remove PowerTAC. Actually, what the hell? They should all have their data backed up somewhere. So now it shouldn't be existing anymore. Only question is, does the server it's really hard to know what code you are running. It's kind of unfortunate. I should maybe have like a log of when was this thing built. Be kind of nice. So when you start up the server, it says, you know, server built from time of day, blah, 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 blah. For now, I'm just going to do another Maven package here. Or maybe a Maven clean first. Actually, I'm also gonna delete this out of the Maven repo. PowerTAC server in the main, because that should make sure that I can't possibly fetch something other than the most current version. If I now build the most current version, PowerTAC, that's my proxy. Okay. So now this should crash until, or maybe it doesn't. Why not? Compose build. Compose app. Ah, now I'm getting everything. See, now I'm getting a ton of messages. And also, I have some... Ooh, that's really hitting my CPU. Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure out some way to reduce my memory usage, because I'm running out of memory here, which is also a problem because my agent doesn't actually do anything fancy yet. So let's see. Screen recorder takes a little bit, can't really kill that. I can kill desktop, signal I mean. And then I can kill... Oh, yikes, it's getting a lot of messages. Serialized to string requires a Google Proto of PyX message CMessage object but received in non-type. When does that happen? When I get a spy. Actually, no, I have to activate this first. So that should be somewhere here. Spy? No? Extra spy. Ah, and I'm not returning PTAC pb2.empty. That's the problem. So now it's all fine. It's just getting a lot of messages. Memories up but solid, up but stable. Let's see how much I get if I kill. Oh, that saved quite a bit. Now I have another 4 gigs. So yeah, IntelliJ is definitely a heavyweight. Okay, so I am getting the spied upon messages, so I don't need to log this anymore, because it doesn't actually... Python doesn't help me to log this. So now I just have to start implementing the messages. But first I will log a couple of these, or document a couple of these things. Commit, etc., etc. Did I change anything in the GRPC adapter? Apparently. It's a jar. It has an execution goal. Oh, I haven't committed here in a while, I guess. Time slot update mapper build. Or system merge commit. No. Okay, so I added the Docker to the gRPC. That's build, init, run. That is a Docker file. And then I've modified the mappers, which are just adding mappers and stuff. I also added the extra spy message service. No, I modified that one, and I added a time slot update mapper because that was missing. The broker properties. What did I change there? Okay, that's the deletion because I moved a file, so that's okay. And then I corrected Slytherin to Slytherin v1. So, adding a Docker file, some more mappers ready to spy. So I am spying successfully now, so I can definitely share that with the Git. Next, the server. I did change a bunch of stuff in the server, but I believe that I already, I already have this git push. Push that upstream though to GitHub. Or not upstream, but to the origin. Or the remote. The origin is not, I can't push to the origin. All-seeing hijack. Yeah, that's my branch, that's fine. What else? My Python. So that's mostly the gRPC auto-generated code, as well as deleted to old files. and modified the server because I added the spy stuff. So spy service, game service. And then let's see what's the difference here. Some minor stuff in the README. Some oh yeah, it was a fix so I can run it from the IDE. The configure logging at the CLI at the bottom main. Then I have the test utils. Why did I delete stuff there? Oh, I deleted the whole file. Config, commented out some things. Agent components. What did I change there? Probably just spaces, yeah. Proper port set, validation split. That's just spacing. Same here. I think that was just some IDE grabbed the formatting. Okay, so the main thing here was the fix on the auto generate GRPC stuff. Okay, so I committed all of it. Now let's maybe stop this running in the background because it doesn't really serve me right now. No targets for message of type balancing order. Do I need balancing orders? No, right now I don't. That's probably a message. So it's an order from a broker to the server asking for a balance or to perform balancing. And because I don't have a handler that handles foreign balancing orders in my spy adapter, I don't do anything with it. And so it gives me a warning, but I don't really care because I am not going to be active in the balancing market. Now, let's see. I do have the spy things, and now I think what I want to do is focus on my... I was thinking about using Redis as the entire backend storage. Now the reason is that it saves me... it doesn't save me memory, which I'm already dearly missing. So I might actually... Let me check how much RAM is for a second. Although actually, I'm gonna cut this video here, upload it, name it, the connecting of the spy, the whole spy stuff, and I'm gonna make a new video where I integrate Redis as the Python internal message pub sub and storage, etc. Because, yeah, I think that should be, it's semantically separate, and so I'll separate these things now and read a little bit about Redis, see how I integrate it well, and also see how much RAM costs to get myself another 8 or 16 gigs. I mean, I think I could be okay if I just add another 8. I don't need to buy 2 8, not a kit of 16 right away. And then that should help me run all my code on my local machine. So yeah, I'll do that. Talk to you later.